Hey guys, DJ AJ 101 here, and I wanted to give you guys a quick little preview today of the Windows 8 consumer preview. That's basically been out for 2 days, so I've gotten a little bit of chance to play with it. A lot of their YouTubers have given you their thoughts and kind of done overviews on it, so I figured why don't I give you my thoughts and overview. Now, just to make a quick note, I have done a more in-depth video than I'm probably going to do today of this preview, basically because the developer preview in my experience has really been exactly this, except this one has probably a little more polish built in and a few more feature sets that I'll probably go over with you. But if you want to check out the developer preview one that I did actually later this past year, 2011, feel free to click the annotation on the screen. I'm going to leave a link to that one where I go in a little bit more in depth on what everything is. If you guys would like to check that out, please feel free. Like I said, I really want to go over this in shorter detail because it's just basically more polish added to the OS, and it is more stable in effect. So what should we do here? We just got to swipe up. So it basically, like I said, it's built more for the touch interface than it is for the point and click interface. But you basically just scroll on up just like so, click on my picture. I don't have a picture there, but we jump right into the Metro UI. Just like the developer preview, we can go to the side, go to the other side, and you can actually use the little bar right here to go back and forth if you don't have a touch mouse like my Magic Mouse, because I'm using this in VMware Fusion. One of the first things I think you will notice is that if you go down here to the bottom right corner, you actually get more settings. You can now search, you can share your start, which is basically right here, the Metro UI. Devices, so you can actually interact this with your Xbox and your Windows Phone. It's a lot easier, you know, a lot more tied like the Apple experience is into the Microsoft user experience. Settings, you can basically change anything you want. Networking, sound, so you can, there's your sound, unavailable, notifications, so you can turn them on or off. Power, very simple. You can go to more, which is more advanced settings, start, but basically it's pretty simple when it comes down to that. So another part with this sidebar is you can actually go up here and search applications. So let's say you wanted to search apps and I wanted to find weather. Bring us up the weather app just like you would on Windows Phone or an iPhone or an Android phone. Just quickly you type into there, almost like Spotlight on the Mac as well. Of course right here, I'm not in Cleveland, but that's what it gave me on my my computer here, Cleveland, Wisconsin. You can actually kind of scroll through here, get the forecast, get the maps, weather change throughout the year. Really is kind of nice. And then of course you hit your Windows key, you're actually back to the Metro. So it is a lot like the developer preview. If you click on that little icon down here as well, you can actually rearrange your spaces of applications in these tiles, as you can see right here. So I had a ton of tiles, I can actually rearrange them the way I want. But if I also just want to rearrange individual tiles, you just kind of move these around like this, and I can put the weather up here and put my mail down here, and I want to put the camera over here for some reason, so it makes it over there. And you know, basically anything I really want to do with this, I can. So if I had a ton of tiles, and I'm sure that's what Microsoft is really anticipating, people to have a ton of their tiles to stay in this Metro UI a majority of the time on their tablet or on their PC interface, at least as far as an overall consumer experience. Businesses, I'm sure, are going to be a different story. This is probably what they really want you to do. And to just kind of go over, you know, really what I've kind of gone over in the developer preview, this typical desktop. Of course, Microsoft has been pushing for a long time now to get rid of menus, and as you can see right here, they've really succeeded because they've finally taken away the traditional start menu. If you go into the Windows Explorer, that's really the only way you can actually get to the typical menu in this type of interface, in the traditional desktop interface. You can get to it also from the Metro UI to kind of, you know, do whatever you want to in customization. But just kind of going over some applications as well. They have the big maps here, so you can, you know, it says I'm in Cleveland. I don't really know why it says that, but you can get directions and stuff like that. So you can really do whatever you want. You can zoom out. So if I wanted to zoom out from Wisconsin, see the whole US, or at least the northeastern part of the US, you can do that as well. You can show traffic, kind of like you can on Google Maps. Photos, it'll give you a photo slideshow. I don't have anything programmed in there right now. Calendars, you can do that as well. The music store, you can set that up. SkyDrive, which is Microsoft's kind of like iCloud. They've had that for a long time, even longer than iCloud, really. Finance, you can do stocks, which it really does look like a nice way to actually do this. You know, they give you really cool pictures. You can do your local stocks that you want. You can customize it to the T, really what you want, get all the stories. Really is nice. They also have a store, of course, basically the Microsoft store in a way, because now you can actually go into the store and you can pretty much see anything you want to. You can go into entertainment and download all your applications from the store. So it's really easy, super simple. It's almost like, it reminds me a lot of iOS and Windows Phone 7 than it really does of traditional Windows. And I think that's what Microsoft really trying to prevail on people. You know, it's not going to be like your old-fashioned Windows. It's actually going to be different. more along the lines of built for a touch type interface and also a background desktop. Another thing I've noticed is that your past close programs, this is almost like multitasking. If you put your cursor to the top left corner of the screen, you'll actually see your last window that you opened. If you scroll down, it'll actually open up all the previous windows, so you can actually see them at a thumbnail glance. And you want to open them, you just basically click on it. Click back to the Metro. You can always go to that top left hand corner and see what you've all opened. You can rearrange them, you can do whatever you want. So basically it's almost like multitasking built into this. And honestly, this is probably more like Windows Phone. I haven't personally used Windows Phone all that much, so a lot of you guys that maybe use Windows Phone would probably be more familiar with this than probably I would have. But I realized, and I really don't want to go into any more because really, you know, it's a lot of it's more the same, but it really is rock solid for consumer preview. It's really nice. This tile interface does look really great, and it really hasn't been that many, it really hasn't caused me that many problems, even in a virtual machine on VMware Fusion on the Mac. And I've seen a lot of other people running it just on traditional Windows PCs that have had zero problems at all. So it's not really about a stability thing, but I think that it's really going to be more about a user experience type thing. Are you really going to be able to hook all those people that used to be, you know, your Windows XP, your Windows Vista, and your Windows 7 customers onto this Metro UI interface rather than the traditional classic Windows desktop user interface? I think that's going to be the biggest thing to get over, and I personally think that it might pull a little bit of a Windows Vista, not as far as performance wise and really having overly, you know, a lot of bugs and stuff in the system, but I think it's really just going to be about, are people going to want to jump this far over, you know, over the fence to a totally different experience and how you use your computer for the majority of part? Because as we've seen from Apple, they've slowly implemented iOS into still the classic way we use a computer nowadays, and they really kind of implemented the iOSification of Mac OS X just basically year by year, slowly but surely, and just adding, you know, little tidbits along the way so people slowly get used to the iOSification of Mac OS X, which is kind of what Microsoft is kind of doing here. But I think that they're really making a big jump from a lot of people saying, you know, this is the way we've always used a computer from basically like Windows 95 upward to Windows 7, and now Microsoft is saying, well, we're going to do a OS that's, you know, going to have touch on the top but a back end of Windows, and it's going to be a totally different splash screen UI as far as being the new start menu, and it says right up here start. So this is going to be kind of the new start menu where you're going to be able to get all your applications and stuff like that. Personally, I think that a lot of people are really going to be kind of turned off by this. I really think that people are going to be like, what happened to my traditional, you know, Windows setup? So there might be some people that actually jump over from this to the Mac as well, just because it's more like Windows was. And if they weren't already on the fence maybe about the Mac, maybe this might push them over. That's just my personal opinion, because I don't know if people are going to be 100% thrilled with the huge jump that Microsoft has made here. And also, just to make another quick note, if I scroll to the right here, you can also download the Windows 8 Developer Preview if you guys would like to. It's absolutely free, no credit card, no payment required. You can basically download the executable file so you can install it on the top of your previous version of Windows right now, but just remember that this is a beta, and it's only going to work for about a year until Microsoft cuts it off, because it's just for testing purposes. Or you can go right here where it says ISO format, and you can actually click on that, and it'll actually give you the ISO format of the OS. So you can actually burn it to a DVD and dual boot on a machine if you like, or if you have a Mac, just install it on another partition on your hard drive, just like that. Or if you also have virtual machine, VMware, or Parallels, you can do that as well. 64 and 32-bit has the product key right here. Download one of those two and you're all set to go. But I'd like to hear what you guys think. Like I said before, please leave your comments below. I'd love to hear them. Also, rate this video up and subscribe if you happen to like my content, and also feel free to check out my channel. It helps me out a great bunch, and also helps you keep track of when I post new videos about the latest tech stuff, unboxings, and whatever else I happen to post. Maybe that's on my mind that day. Feel free to check out my stuff as well. But anyways, guys, I will see you in my next video. Feel free to check out Windows 8 for yourself. Link will be in the description. I will see you guys in my next video. Have a great one until then, guys.